Hello everyone and welcome to the third video in this series VMware vSphere 5.5 install, configure and manage. Now in this video I'm going to show you uh, we're going to explore ESXi host through vSphere client. So in previous video we did connected ESXi host to through vSphere client, and then we'll be installing creating first VM within ESXi host. We'll be exploring VM files, and we'll be talking about VM clones and templates. So let's get started. Now within this environment, just a quick recap, I have a DC that is just an Active Directory server. It also has a DNS. It is also a DNS server. Whereas I have second server that is just a 2008 R2 server. It is named VC01. Now this is used for vSphere client. I've installed vSphere client. You've seen that in video number 2. Then we have 3 ESXi hosts that we configured in video number 2 with these IP addresses 100.50, 100.60 and 100.70. Guys, the very first thing that we do after installing ESXi hosts, we do configure IP addresses on them, and then we can install vSphere client. For all that, please refer to video number 2 of this series. Now since we are connected to these ESXi hosts, let's start exploring ESXi host number 1, which is this one. Now as soon as you connected to ESXi host, you can go on to home. Home gives you these 3 icons, which is inventory, roles and syslog. Inventory is the place where we have our ESXi host, and it shows us the quick summary. It gives us quick definition what is a host. As we already know, ESXi host, it's a host that has many VMs inside. Actually, it's a hypervisor. It's a type 1 hypervisor that can be installed on bare metal, whereas type 2 hypervisors cannot be installed on bare metal. And this, as soon as you go on to summary, this is like a task manager within Windows. So this host has 2 CPUs, and this much of CPU is being used, and it has this much memory, 4 gigs out of 4 gigs, almost 1.1 gig, a little more than just 1 gig is being used. It has a data store. Now data store is the main disk for this host. In Windows we have C drive, D drive, but here they are called data stores. If you want to see data store, you can browse this data store. It shows you the folders inside. You can create more folders, you can upload files, you can download files. Now for now there is nothing. We'll just close this data store. Here it also shows you some other configurations for this host, that this host, model, CPUs, processor. So basically it is taking this all information from the host CPU. Since we are doing this in VMware environment, if this ESXi host would have been installed in a real server, it would give you those specs. Here it also shows you how many network cards are there, how much CPU sockets are there. Hyper-threading is inactive on this. Virtual machine template, if there are any, vMotion is enabled or disabled. HA, it shows you HA on this side. If it shows you that if FT is enabled, we'll be configuring that later on. And most importantly, you can start creating virtual machine. I can reboot the server, shut down this server, put it in maintenance mode. Now in VM section, if there are any VMs, it will show you VMs. Resource allocation is the place how it is managing resources. If there are any VMs, in performance, it will just show you how your CPU and memory and other counters are doing. Main place where everything is being configured is known as configuration tab. If you compare it with Windows, configuration tab is like a control panel to ESXi host. Now within configuration tab, just like in Windows, we go to control panel, set up network card settings, storage settings and other settings. In ESXi host, this is a configuration screen. Within configuration, it is showing you the health status. Health status seems everything normal. Processor, software component, processor showing you some other statistics, memory also, how much memory is being used, how much is available. Most importantly, it shows you the storage, the disk. In Windows, you can see it as My Computer C drive. Here they are known as Data Store 1. If you have more disk, it would show you more disk. In networking, it shows you the network card. Since it is a Hyper-V hypervisor, it just not only has a card, but it has a switch inside. So this is a switch where it has VM network as a port group. So later on we'll be going into more details once we start with networking. For now, this is the network settings here. Since this machine only has one network card, it is showing us one network card. It also shows us adapter. If later on we'll be working with SAN and we're going to be working with HBAs, both plus adapter. So this is the setting. If you have more network cards, it will show you more network cards, and then there are some advanced settings. We're not touching anything for now. Power management and so on. Now, so power management, we'll be checking this later on as well. Now in software section, so this was hardware section of configuration, or in other words control panel. This is software section. In software section of this host, which is actually this host, it shows you licensing feature. For now, this is an evaluation mode license. Now evaluation mode license means that it is valid till 9th of February, and it has all these features. So normally evaluation comes with all features installed so that we can test this out. If we are satisfied, then we can buy the real license. Now with evaluation license, what can we test? We can test HA, FT, vMotion, DP, data protection, zones, DRS, SDRS, storage, everything. We can test out everything. Time configuration, it's an MTP server. MTP server mostly refers to the time server. It should either be connected to MTP over the internet, or if you have Active Directory, it should be pointing to a PDC emulator role. So this is what I'm gonna do. Point it to properties, MTP enable option, and here MTP setting, add your DC IP address. So I'm gonna add the DC IP address so that it can point to our DC, and we'll also select MTP server started. Right after this, select. So it is connected to this. Since in Active Directory environment, this is a PDC emulator role, so it should follow this time. MTP server is used for time server. Basically all machines that will be creating inside will be pointing to this server. You can also set up DNS settings. Now where is this DNS setting coming from, guys? This is coming from when we configure the name, DNS name and IP address from here. So these are the DNS settings. We can also change it from here as well. The same settings that we configured from within the host. We'll leave it as is. We can also configure Active Directory authentication, which we'll be doing later on. For now, we'll leave local authentication. There are some other settings like shutdown. It would give you the log shutdown. You can set those properties up as well. VM swap file, paging file settings. Then you have your security profile. Within security profile, it is showing you what services are running, and it is also showing you what firewall ports needs to be opened if ever you need to open. Incoming ports are here. Incoming ports are here. We need to open all these ports. Outgoing ports are here. Host cache is also another feature. We'll be going into more details later on. For now, agent VM settings, advanced settings, no need to go into these settings for now. Most common setting that we'll be working on For now will be number one, storage. We'll be adding extra storage and see how this is added. We'll be adding an extra network card, see how this is added. So let me do this now. In storage, I need, let's say I need another disk. If I need another disk, this is my VMware workstation. What I do is I will go into this VM setting, wrong. I don't need to go into Windows setting, but I need to add a disk here within ESXi host, because this is ESXi host settings. So let's do this for success. We'll add a second disk to this machine. It has one disk. Let's add a second disk. Now if you add a second disk, it's a second disk. We don't need to this disk to be a big disk, since we won't be storing anything on this. For now, let's keep it 2 GB just to see how to configure this disk inside. Now as soon as you add this disk is added. Let's give it a few minutes so that it can appear within the settings. And secondly, we'll go here. Now here we need to see, just press refresh. As you can see on the task manager, it is refreshes selected. Now the next thing, add storage disk. Disk is not here yet. Let's rescan all storage devices. Sometimes it takes a little while before it is scanned properly. There is storage. We have storage adapter. Add storage. Next. Now we can see the disk. So you must rescan or refresh. Sometime with refresh now, and if it doesn't come with refresh, you can do rescan. Now here, select the disk. Next, they're asking you which file system, so we'll go with the latest one, VMFS5, which is the latest one. Next, and next. Name the storage. Maybe I can name it, let's say the storage is for ISOs on the server. So here, maximum available. I can break this down into smaller logical drives as well, but for now I'll just go with, since it is 2 GB, it is better. So second disk is added. Where can you confirm it? You can write confirm it from here, or you can also go back to summary and go up. It also shows you the second disk. So first, as first exercise was to add a disk. I would recommend all of you to do that, add the disk to this machine and add a disk to all these other machines as well. Now within configuration, the second thing is networking. You can see one network card here. Now if this one network card goes down, it will take down the complete switch. Why switch there? Because the VMs that we'll be creating will be connected to this switch. From this switch they'll be connecting to the physical network. From physical network they'll be connecting outside. So just to have a redundant network card, we'll add another network card. Now how to add a network card? We need to go to the network cards, and here it only shows me one network card. Now again, the network card needs to be added to this host. Let's go back to the host, go to host properties, and go to add a second NIC. So it has a first NIC. We'll leave the network as NAT. Next, and OK. Once this is all done, what we need to do is go back to this machine. It takes few minutes here, and then we go back to this machine. Where we need to go to is network adapters, showing one adapter here, and configuration. My first network card, my second network card is, I'll go to the properties here, go to network adapters, add adapter. This adapter is not yet available. Now sometime it is not yet available right away. In network adapter, what we need to do is, okay, so let's now confirm that if the network card adapter was added, and it can happen in the real environment. Here I am on this host, I can see two network adapters here, but now I'll log into this host by F2 and see within the configuration that if the second network card is added, I can go here and configure network and network adapter. It's not showing me the second network card. Most probably this host needs a restart because we added a hardware. It needs a restart. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cancel out from here and cancel out from here, and then if I can scroll down here to reboot, I need to do F12. So I'll do F12. It is again asking for username and password. Now why are we rebooting it? We are rebooting it because we have added a new hardware, and for that reason, in order to recognize this hardware, especially network card, it needs to be restarted. So restart in progress. It is restarting now. It takes few minutes to restart. As soon as it comes back, we'll verify that if the network card was added successfully. So restart took few minutes. It is restarted now. Let's go back to, since it was restarted, it was disconnected. Let's reconnect to this server again. And it is connecting. It is connected now. Now I'll go back to configuration just to verify the second network card. We can go to adapter. Now I can see the second network card. So first one is connected to switch, second one is connected to nowhere. Let's add it to the switch. Now why am I adding it? I'm adding it for redundancy purposes, so that if one network card goes down, the second network card should automatically, now we have two network cards with one switch. If one goes down, the second one would take over. If this goes down, this would take over. So, and more essentially, we just wanted to see that what can we do within configuration. So in this video, we did two tasks. We added a storage and we added networking. In the next video, we're gonna create a VM and we're gonna see some more VM related options. Thank you for watching this video. See you guys in the next video.